in Gauteng, where the EFF is set to open a case against Operation Dudula at the Alexandra Police Station north of Johannesburg. Now, they're accusing the organization of allegedly blocking access to clinics in the township, this leading to the death of a one-year-old Praise Banda. The toddler was rushed to a local clinic last month after falling violently ill. The mother alleges that she was refused access by some Operation Dudula members. Newsroom Africa's Zola Shalwana joins us live from there. Zola, I remember when you spoke to the mother and she gave such a heartbreaking account of what had happened, but also the confusion for that mother. And it's really the issue that has been raised around this continued campaign. What would happen in terms of the worst case scenario? And this is really where the Banda family finds itself.
Man, the mainstream media couldn't wait to get a story like this. The mainstream media, the South African Human Rights Commission, the EFF, the South African government, and these useless NGOs, they couldn't wait to get a story like this so that they can go out and paint Operation Dudula as evil, simply because Operation Dudula says it is unfair to expect South African taxpayers to pay for the health care of the people that are in this country illegally. So, as a South African, you need to understand that this story, it has nothing to do with the death of that one-year-old child. But this story, it has everything to do with these people trying to silence South Africans. You know that the mainstream media and the South African Human Rights Commission, the EFF, and these NGOs, they've been calling South Africans xenophobic for a very long time because South Africans have been very clear to say that it is unfair to expect us as South African taxpayers to pay for the shelter of these people, to pay for the healthcare of these people, and to pay for the security of these people. And when these people that are jumping the borders and getting in this country to abuse the resources that we work hard to pay for, when these people come in this country and commit crimes, we still have to feed these people in jail. And it is unfair on us as South African taxpayers to pay for such. And now these people have actually found a story. And this is how evil these people are. They are willing to politicize the death of a one-year-old child so that they can try to silence South Africans. They tried to call South Africans xenophobic, but they have realized that calling South Africans xenophobic, it is not working anymore. So now, they are shifting the gears. They are going to call South Africans evil and they are going to call South Africans murderers simply because the people of this country say that it is unfair what is happening on us as on the ground. And this is the reason why people need to see the politicians for exactly what these people are. The politicians like Julius Malema, the members of parliament of the EFF, these people in the South African Human Rights Commission, in the government, and these NGOs, these people, they are using their private healthcare facilities because they are paying for that. They are getting the best of the best because they are paying for that. And South African taxpayers are paying so that they can get the best of the best too. But these politicians are saying no. South African taxpayers must share their resources with these people that are coming outside of this country, but they don't have to share their resources. This is the reason why every time when Julius Malema goes out and insults the people of this country and tells South Africans how xenophobic they are, the only thing that I always say is that, Julius Malema, why don't you open up your garage and house a couple of illegal immigrants in your own home? Because you expect South Africans to open up their communities to accommodate these people that are committing crimes in this country, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. So this is a war that is being fought right now. They are fighting to silence South Africans, and if these people will have to use the death of a one-year-old child, this is what they are going to do. So you need to understand that they are trying to silence us. They are trying to silence us. They don't want us to say that we don't want illegal immigrants in this country. They don't want us to say that our public healthcare facilities are overburdened. And one of the reasons why our public healthcare facilities are overburdened is because there are a lot of illegal immigrants in this country. And we understand that this is the fault of the ANC because the ANC has allowed our borders to collapse in this country. But partially, this is the fault of Julius Malema. You know, the supporters of Julius Malema and the EFF, they like to say that no, what is happening in this country, it has absolutely nothing to do with Julius Malema, because Julius Malema is not in charge of this country. And this shows you how dishonest these EFF supporters are. Julius Malema is quite popular. Julius Malema, when he speaks, people listen. So when Julius Malema stands and says that these illegal foreigners must find creative ways to get in this country, these people will listen to him. And these words of Julius Malema, they will echo throughout Africa that no, you can go to South Africa because Julius Malema is there. And this is the reason why a lot of these people that are in this country illegally, they identify themselves with the EFF because they understand that there is a one political party in this country that is going to fight for us, which is the EFF. And the EFF does not care about the support of South Africans. They will do that even at their own expense. That's why I say that the supporters of the EFF, they are very dishonest people, because they will say that Julius Malema is not in charge of this country and trying to act like when Julius Malema speaks, people do not listen. This is the fault of the ANC, and this is the fault of these people that have been insulting South Africans, the fault of this mainstream media that have been insulting South Africans and platforming these people to come and insult South Africans. So now they are using the death of a one-year-old child to try to silence South Africans. These people are despicable. They are despicable. I actually do not have a word to describe how evil these people are. I cannot. Because when South African children were dying, there was no outrage from the EFF. When South African children were dying in the hands of these Somalis and the Bangladeshis that are operating these death traps that they call spaza shops, there was no outrage from the South African Human Rights Commission. South African children were dying. There was no outrage from these NGOs. But now we are learning of a death of a one-year-old child. And everything has to focus on that. And this just shows you how much these people despise South Africans. Just shows you how much these people hate South Africans. There is not a single person in this country that can make me look at these organizations as the organizations that actually care for the people of this country. They don't care for the people of this country. For the past couple of months, the South African Human Rights Commission, they have been dragged on social media, they have been dragged on these platforms because their agenda, it has been exposed. And as the EFF, I am not surprised. I don't want to lie. I am not surprised that this is the position that the EFF has taken for a very long time. The EFF has been a political party that represents the illegal foreigners in this country. They've been like that. Julius Malema has told the South Africans that if they don't want to vote for him because he is advocating for the rights of these people that are in this country illegally, he doesn't care. You can take your xenophobic vote. Julius Malema has, like, there are mountains and mountains of videos of Julius Malema basically attacking South Africans in defense of these people. So right now, South Africans are trying to silence South Africans. This is what they are trying to do. And you need to understand that. You need to understand it. And it is very evil for these people to politicize the death of a one-year-old child. Very evil.
Greetings to you, greetings to the viewers of EWN, social media spaces and so forth. We're here to open a case against Dudula operation and its leader, Zandile Dabo.
You know, guys, when South African children died, the president of this country came out and said that he is going to give these people that are operating these death traps that they call as spaza shops couple of weeks to get their licenses. And that alone, it was a scandal on its own that there are people in this country that are operating tuck shops without a licensing. And the president of this country knew. And when South African children started to die, the president of this country, instead of saying that, no, we are coming hard at you guys, he said that, no, go out and obtain your licenses. It was almost as if the president of this country was giving these people the license to continue to kill South Africans. There was no outrage from the EFF. This is the reason why I say I do not believe them, that they are outraged about what is happening. They are trying to silence Operation Dudula because they can see the kind of support that Operation Dudula is getting. They know that the South Africans, they actually identify themselves with Operation Dudula. They know that South Africans on the ground, they are fed up with the nonsense that has been happening in their communities, and they are sick and tired of the illegal immigrants in their communities, and they know Operation Dudula represents that. So they are trying to attack us, and Operation Dudula is taking the heat for us. It's taking the heat for us. So you need to be very careful of how this thing is playing out. You need to be very careful.
Greetings to you, greetings to the viewers of EWN, social media spaces and so forth. We're here to open a case against Dudula operation and its leader, Zandile Dudula, following the untimely death of a 1-year-old child by the name of Praise Banda. May his soul rest in peace. So Dudula has been running some vigilante operation, particularly in the greater parts of Johannesburg, of barring people from getting...
No, you are being dishonest. When you say that they are just barring people, you are being dishonest. And you are just like this lady, because this is exactly what this lady said, that you guys are saying that Operation Dudula is barring people from entering. No, be specific. Be specific why Operation Dudula is on the ground. Be specific, man. Do not be dishonest. Be specific why Operation Dudula is on the ground.
From getting necessary access to the public healthcare facilities. They've taken it upon their responsibility to stop those that they refer to as undocumented citizens of this country from having access. The reason why we say citizens of this country is because everyone, in accordance to them, who does not come to these facilities without some form of identification is perceived to be of illegal immigration. You know, so they are taking us back to an era where we had fought off apartheid and the Dompas laws. To now reconstitute it, where South Africans must now walk around with identifications just to prove that indeed they are South Africans. But
I mean, like, the EFF is completely not reading the mood of the country right now. They are missing the mood of the country right now. And guys, I believe that South Africans do not have a problem with walking around with their identification cards. I believe that. And as the people of this country, when we have organizations like Operation Dudula and fighting, putting themselves on the line, getting arrested, fighting for this cause, we also have to play our part as South Africans. And as the people of this country, we have to say that, no, if us going around with our identity cards, it's what it will take for us to fight this fight, then this is what we'll have to do as South Africans. I don't think that there are South Africans that have a problem with walking around with their IDs to prove that they are South Africans. Because right now we are facing a problem in this country. So now the EFF says that no, it is unfair to even want the South Africans to walk around with their identity cards. And if these people do not have their identity cards, they will be categorized as illegal immigrants. No, this is a sacrifice that South Africans are willing to make. They are failing to read that this is a sacrifice that we are willing to make. I mean, like, personally, guys, I always walk around with my identity card. In my wallet, I always walk around with my identity card. And I don't see any problem with that. I don't see any problem with that. Right now, what is happening is that the EFF, they are trying to provide the cover for these illegal immigrants. And I don't want to lie. I want the EFF to keep up with this rhetoric as we go into the elections. I want to see what is going to happen. I want them to keep fighting this fight that they are fighting right now. I want them to continue to ignore South Africans. I want them to continue to ignore the frustrations of South Africans while they are trying to cover up for these illegal immigrants. So keep it up, the EFF. Keep it up. I want you to fight this fight. I want you to fight this fight. Honestly.
Be that as it may, you know, everyone who is in South Africa, at least in accordance to the Constitutional Court Order of 2017, is eligible to public health care. You know.
Yes, you say that because you don't use it. It's easy for you to say that because you don't use it. You don't experience what other South Africans are experiencing when they are standing in queues in the clinics or in the public hospitals. It's easy for you to say that. It's easy. Don't you find it very strange that none of these politicians have ever actually advocated for these illegal foreigners to go to the private healthcare facilities? Is it a coincidence that none of these people are advocating for these illegal foreigners to go to the private healthcare facilities? You know why? They don't want to be disturbed when they are getting their healthcare. But they want you as a South African to be disturbed. And you don't have a right to say anything. This is what they want. This is what they want. I cannot believe that right now we have a party in this country that is actually actively trying to silence South Africans. I cannot believe that, man.
Regardless of the conditions of or the questionability of your existence within the borders of South Africa. This is made obviously in protection.
And guys, you also need to remember that these people are the same people that supported the Bella Bill. These are the same people that supported the Bella Bill. The Bella Bill that say that the children of illegal foreigners can be enrolled into public schools without providing any documentation. The EFF supported the Bella Bill. And the consequences of the Bella Bill is that today, as we speak, there are South African children that could not find a placement because the schools were full. This is an issue that South African parents were dealing with. And a couple of weeks ago, the MEC of Education in Gauteng, he was telling the parents that they need to make sure that all their documents are in order if they want to register their children for next year. But when it comes to the illegal foreigners, no, the children of illegal foreigners can be enrolled into public schools without providing any sort of documentation. So the EFF and the ANC, they are trying to legalize the illegal foreigners, because what is happening is that when these people come in this country and start sending their children to schools, you cannot deport them. You cannot deport them because their children are at school. So somehow you have to take these people as South Africans. And this is what the EFF and the ANC are trying to do. This is what they are trying to do. These are some of the small things that these people are supporting. And somehow they want us to believe that they want what is best for South Africans. How can you tell me that you want what is best for South Africans and go out and support a policy that says that the children of illegal foreigners can be enrolled into public schools without providing any documentation, while South African parents have to provide the documentation? And these people say that they want what is best for us. It is your choice, guys. As we go to the elections, it is your choice. It is your choice. You have to be able to look at some of these political parties and understand the agenda of these political parties. Political parties like the EFF, you have to look at the EFF for exactly what it is. A political party that is led by Julius Malema, that has been fighting against the South Africans. This is exactly what the EFF is. Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing more, nothing less. Everything that they have supported from the ANC, it has destroyed the South Africans. They supported the Employment Equity Act. The Employment Equity Act that said that the companies, all the companies that have over 50 people must apply by the quotas. They supported it. And now we are seeing the companies scale down. People losing their jobs. We told them that this employment equity plan is going to cost people their jobs, but they went ahead and said it is transformation. And somehow they still want you to believe that they want what is best for South Africans. So now when they come out with a story like this, you have to look at this story and see it for exactly what it is. This is them trying to silence you. They called you xenophobic, it was not enough. Now they are calling you evil.
Not only of a particular individual's human health care, but also for the greater parts of society. You'd understand that if someone would have to be suffering from malaria, as an example, and they are not given the necessary health care in South Africa, it can easily spread to multitudes and multitudes of members of society.
Yeah. You guys can try to play fast and loose with South Africans. You know one thing that I like about the EFF? The EFF, like, they have this thing of trying to act like they are the smartest of them all. All of us are idiots. It is only Julius Malema who has the superior logic to see everything, and everything that Julius Malema says, it is biblical. So they will try to play fast and loose with the people of this country. This is exactly what they are doing. This is exactly what they are doing. Not so long ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, the EFF was celebrating the fact that they were kicking out some illegal foreigners somewhere in Gauteng. They were celebrating that. This is the same EFF that said that, no, we are the ones that brought the immigration what policy in the parliament. And to show you that the EFF is fighting this fight of illegal foreigners, doing exactly what Operation Dudula is doing. Exactly what Operation Dudula is doing. But today they are coming and they are taking action against an organization that is doing what they were celebrating a couple of weeks ago. So they can continue to play fast and loose with the people of this country, but some of us can actually see them for exactly what they are. We can see them for exactly what they are. Bunch of elites that are expecting African South Africans to share their resources with everybody else and ignoring the evidence that is there for everybody to see that our public healthcare facilities are overburdened. There are not enough doctors. There are not enough nurses. The economy is not growing fast. And there are a lot of illegal immigrants in this country. And the stories are breaking left, right, and center that some of these illegal foreigners are stealing the medication. You remember when Ramaphosa said, why are the clinics empty? Why don't the clinics have medication? South Africans were furious to say, how can the president of this country say, why are the clinics empty? Why the clinics don't have medication? Whereas he is the president of a political party that has collapsed the borders. How can the president ask us that when he knows that the political party that he represents is the one that has collapsed the borders? These are your black political parties, guys. These are your black political parties. But I feel like it is very sad that these people are using the death of a 1-year-old child to try to silence South Africans. It is very sad. It is very sad. They are disingenuous, man. They are not being honest. They are not being honest. And now people can see them for exactly what they are. Even go on social media, you will see the backlash that they are getting. But the EFF is stubborn. The leader of the EFF is stubborn. So they will continue to fight this fight. And I actually want them to continue to fight this fight. I want them to go into 2026 local government elections fighting for illegal foreigners instead of South Africans. This is exactly what I want the EFF to continue doing. Guys, what are your thoughts? Please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button and the most important part, subscribe. Subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaz. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.